Here's a quick syllabus. Let's get started. In Warframe, damage is based on multiplication. The base damage of a weapon is a combination of all the damage types it starts with. A mod that adds elemental damage will add an amount based on a percentage of your weapon's base damage. In other words, it multiplies the damage of your weapon. Since physical damage is a combination of all three physical damage types, which is impact, slash, and puncture, if you add a mod that increases the damage of one specific damage type, it will often yield less damage than that of an elemental mod. However, if you possess a weapon which has one type of physical damage that is much higher than another's, then in some cases, adding a mod that increases that specific physical damage type will often yield even more damage than if you were to add an elemental mod. That being said, this rarely comes into play. So what are the kinds of mods that add damage? Well, there's three. Full damage, multi-shot, and elemental damage, including physical damage. But damage scaling in Warframe is exponential, because it is because it is multiplied. And when you get several different sources that multiply the same value, you end up with an exponent. So it's important to know what the order of multiplication is when you're adding mods to your weapon. It's actually part of the reason that the full damage mod is the most important mod you can put on your weapon, because elemental mods multiply your base damage, and full damage modifiers multiply your base damage after elemental mods, which provides a drastic increase to damage output. And finally, multi-shot increases the damage of your weapon after every single other damage modifier. Just remember that mods that provide damage of the same type will add to each other. They will not multiply each other. Now, let's get into some mod attributes. Drain. This is a number on the mod that tells you how much of your capacity it will drain. Polarity. Polarity is a symbol next to its drain number. Some mod slots come with a matching polarity built in. If you put a mod into a slot with a matching polarity, it will have its drain on your mod capacity. If you put the wrong polarity into a polarized slot, it will increase the drain instead. Rarity. Your mod has a type: bronze, silver, or gold. This means almost nothing aside from the rarity of the mod, aka how difficult it is to acquire. Upgrade. This is the text that describes what upgrade the mod provides. Item. This part of the mod tells you what kind of item you're allowed to insert the mod into. This can be as specific as a single weapon or as general as a primary weapon. It also includes warframes, railjacks, pets, types of pets, species of pets, and specific breeds of a species of a type of pet. And also, of course, a type of weapon. Fusion. This is the row of dots on the bottom of the mod. The number of dots tells you how many times the mod can be ranked up. The effectiveness of a mod is equal to its base upgrade plus its base upgrade multiplied by its rank. Hellfire can be ranked up 5 times. Its base upgrade is 15. 5 times 15 is 75. Plus its base of 15 is 90. Therefore, maximum rank Hellfire is 90% heat. And keep in mind that every time you rank up a mod, its drain also increases by 1. In most cases, you can treat the priority of mods something like Maslow's hierarchy. Until the highest priority needs have been met, you cannot and should not progress to the next level. Now let's look at one final example. I purchased a Lex off of the market for 50,000 credits. Right now it's rank 4. I'm rank 20, so the capacity is 20, and as you can see, I'm placing damage and multi-shot in the same order of needs as would be expected of me. And now I see a damage mod, so I add that too because of the priority. But wait! Now I add a puncture mod, and the damage is even higher. But if the full damage increase was not more important than the puncture, then how can this happen? Well, the answer is simple, because we've discussed this in the beginning of the video. Before I added the puncture mod, even if it were an elemental damage increase, remember that there are 3 damage increase mods that stack additively with themselves, but multiply one another. Before I put the puncture damage onto the weapon, it was only increasing its damage based on 2 layers of multiplication. When I added the puncture, it multiplied a 3rd time, because that is a physical damage type. All it's really about is taking advantage of every damage source you have available to you, which in the late game we call arcanes, critical builds, operator abilities, but at least in the early game, the concept of exponential damage increase starts in your weapon modding. Once you get a hang of it, there's nothing to it.